The TG for this in Gen Z. You're gonna have to help me out here, man. I feel old. Good God. Wow, I feel really old. Jesus. Target group. Oh, target group is yes, pretty much Gen Z. Yes. Yeah, yeah. Oh man, I feel stupid. Yeah, target group is Gen Z guys our age, maybe 18 to 35. That demographic, that gloriously broad demographic. I guess those are the people I'm trying to, you know, encounter. Those I'm trying to get my work across to them the most. All right, so we'll start right now. Uh, so the piece that I'm going to be doing today, I've had the idea for it for a while now. I've had it like kept aside for a time when I could do it live. That is what I was thinking because the design that I'm going to do today is very simple. It's not overly complicated, and even for those of you who might be new to Photoshop, who aren't so confident in it, I think you could follow along rather easily. It's not something too complicated, and I think a lot of people are gonna find this very easy to do. So that is my idea. Okay, so each composition of mine always starts from a picture. It's the picture that always conveys the idea. Like I haven't really got around to messing with type yet, but it's always a picture that conveys the idea that I want to share. And this picture is the one that I've chosen for today. This is going to be the centerpiece of the design. It's, as you can see, a picture of a bombed out church. And so the theme of today's post is going to be uh, the theme of today's post is going to be centered around this. And I'm going to make this design as good as the ones I normally make for my Instagram. And maybe in a couple weeks time you will see this post on my IG. So I just want to let everyone here know that. All right, so let's get it. Okay, so first things first, just gonna open. One thing that I suggest everyone to do is have like a hard disk or a backup of all the resources that you've collected over the years, be it pictures, textures, font, actions, brushes. You never know when you're going to need it, you never know when you're going to use it. So I have a ton of pictures that I selected for potential projects, but I never use them. And no, I don't know if anyone is interested in my work as an NFT. I honestly don't think like 2D art really sells that well in terms of NFTs. Like I do know, like I have read about a couple of instances, but 3D is the thing that's really making it big in terms of NFTs. So yeah, I hope that settles that question. Now, in terms of document size is also important when it comes to making a design, cause your document size is gonna influence your composition. It's gonna influence how you design, how you place things, and your dimensions are very important. Now, for Instagram, your typical square sized post, which is what I post normally, is around 1080 by 1080 pixels, a perfect square. I do my designs in 2000 by 2000 and I export them in a smaller size. I'll show you what I mean by that. So this is basically my setup. It's your simple 2000 by 2000. Your resolution is 72 ppi, standard digital format. Color mode is obviously RGB. And so here I go. Now I'm just gonna get the picture in. Now I'm just gonna find a I'm just gonna find a composition that just looks good, something that gives the perfect balance to me. Now this is something that comes with practice and just intuition. This is one of the things that I like to champion, that your gut instinct is something that is going to help you out a lot. It's going to be, it is true to you, it is true to who you are, and it is true to what you like. And so trust your gut instinct every time. Like, just trust it. If you feel like something is not right about the design, if you feel like it needs to be changed, then look into changing it. Because more often than not, your gut instinct is true. It's true to what you are, and it actually helps you out more. So now, I'm gonna place it at this, maybe a little up. No, uh, chat. Let me know what you think, if this is good, and if we can go forward with things. Is this good? Should I bring it down a bit? What do y'all think? Let me see. All right. That's one. Come on, come on. I need more people to answer. Is that it? Come on. I see three people have replied already. Come on. I need more people to reply. We'll get to that, Seema. We'll get to that. Yeah. I think this is good, right? I think this looks good. Yeah, so the question was, I was just asking the people over here whether I should lower the image or raise the image, or if the way I'd placed it is good. Because image placement is something that is just intuitive. There's no fixed rules to it. There's no there's no right way to do it. It's all dependent on the person doing it. So now I hope that everyone's good. Uh, I'll get to that. I'll get to that. I will. I'll show you. This is the original. This is the original picture. See, this is the one. This is the original picture that I've up here. I've just brought it into a different file. Now, since the dimensions don't match, it's gonna adjust itself to the given artboard. And as it is, I think this is exactly what I want. This is kind of what I had in mind, and this is perfect for me now. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, yeah, I do see that. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah, just a slight bit. Yeah, I think I think this is good, right, chat? Just give me a thumbs up if This is good, and I'll proceed to the next step. All right. Now, the next thing that I do that I think everyone should is use guidelines. Use guidelines to structure your design in every single way possible. Uh, Uniformity is key in a lot of things. And obviously, the first one I like to do is divide the artboard equally into four given halves. Yeah, I do see that. But I'm just thinking, like, because what Daniel also said was right, like, bring the rubble up a bit more. So I think I want them to focus on the sky. That is like the intent, and I'll show you why in a little while. I do want them to focus on the sky. That is the main idea. I do want them to focus on the sky. I think this is good. Yeah, I think this is good. So, getting back to guidelines, the first thing I do always is divide things equally into four halves. It just helps me. It just gives the design a sense of symmetry, and it sort of guides me as to how I might go forward doing the next part. Because I don't really think out my designs. I don't, sorry, write them down. I don't ideate. I'm not constantly. Yeah, am I audible now? Are we good? All right. So, guidelines. Oh, God. Yeah. Guidelines are key here. And now, the next thing I do is to place bleed, this sort of like margin, because I don't want my text to go all the way to the very end of the image. I never want to unless I intend it to. So what I normally do is I place at about the 50 pixel mark. Is that it? Yeah. Fuck it. Uh, I place the guideline around each side, around the 50 pixel mark. I place the guidelines just to give me an idea of a bounding box as such for all my designs so that nothing goes out of said bounding box. Everything remains within and it gives it a sort of order. Okay. So this is the setup for my design. And this is what I do every single time and something that I would suggest everyone to do. Yeah. symmetry is not always the best thing. I think, once again, it comes down to your artistic choice. You've got to decide what looks best because you're the best judge of your own design. And in the moment, you've got to take the choice. And so, yeah, it all depends. It's honestly, it's all subjective. And now I'm gonna proceed with the important part of the design. I'm gonna put in the type now. Now, using the right font is quite the headache. If you think it's quite the tough choice because type needs to be used in a certain context. It needs to be used in a certain way and for a certain thing. It needs to be used. It needs to be used in a certain way and a certain feel, vibe. Those need to be taken into account. Now, I've been looking for type that kind of suits my requirements, and I found that sans serif types, for those who are tuning in who don't really know the technical terms, sans serif types are types that don't have that sort of the extension. So if you've seen, yeah, this is a good example. If you've seen type, this little extension at the bottom that you see here, that's what you call a serif. Now, the origins of these serifs date back all the way to print. Print in the early 1400s, 1500s, where they would print on these like huge metal blocks. So what these like serifs did was they helped establish this sort of invisible baseline for your eye to follow the letters so that you could read coherently and that there wasn't any confusion, so that your reading experience was like detailed and thorough. So that is what these serifs were for. In today's day and age, like, they're pretty much interchangeable. And so sans serif fonts are what I use and what I tend to use. So extra large fonts, could you give me an example? Do you have a font in mind? What would you say are typical extra large fonts for you? All right. So with fonts, I'm going to use a sans serif today. I do have a lot of fonts that I would like to use, but primarily I'm going to use fonts like these. Fonts that have this really large, X heights. The letters look like elongated. They help, to me, I see that they help cover more space, and you can fill a lot of space with very little. So these are the kind of fonts that I'm going to use today, sans serif ones. And one particular font that I really like and that I'm going to use today is, let me find it. Yep, I got it. Give me a second. Dharma Gothic. Now, this is a wonderful font that I discovered on IG. All right, Vivan, I'm going to look at it at the end of the end of the session. Is that cool? How about that? That's cool, right? Okay. So yeah, yeah. No, I'm just like I'm keeping up with the chat on my phone, so occasionally I do press the wrong buttons and clumsy fingers. So getting back to the design, the font that I'm going to use today is Dharma Gothic, and in particular, maybe a bold or a heavy. Those are really thick fonts, really nice width, and they really help create this sort of bold image. And I do use them in a lot of my designs. I think I used it in the one I posted today, if I'm not wrong. No. I think I used it in this post, Dharma Gothic. Maybe I think I've used it here also in this one. That's another one. So yeah, here. This one I use Dharma Gothic. So you can see the characteristics of why I like the font, of why I think it's like the perfect font for this design. So I'm gonna, this is the font I'm gonna use. So what, Devin? I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Okay. So I hope that people over here do know what tracking is, what leading is, and how that kind of affects the perception of your design in terms of the type. Okay, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, uh, kerning, sorry, I'll s- explain this first. Kerning is the little space that you see in between this A and S. That is what you call kerning. Tracking deals with the entire word or an entire paragraph as a whole. Tracking helps you determine the overall spacing between the letters in a word and in an entire paragraph. It depends upon how you're going to track. That's what tracking determines, the spaces between letters. Kerning is just a pair, maybe two letters. That's how you would kern. You kern individually, you track on a group basis. Leading is the space between the lines. This space that you see, that I'm going to change in a second. See, this space, that is what you call leading. And so these are the three things that you're gonna have to keep in mind when you're using type. Now let's get to it. So I've been thinking about this design for the past couple of days, and like in terms of the picture, like I have an idea for the copy for the text that I do want to put into it. It's just gonna be three words, and it's gonna say, well, it's gonna say no one home. Okay, that's what it's gonna say, the design. And now I'm gonna have to place it. And this is tricky. This is all once again dependent on how I choose to do it. No one, there's no right way to do it. There's no wrong way to do it. And so, no, Amog, I don't. It just comes together. Sometimes it's just an idea. Like I think a lot of times, the copy helps inspire the design. I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna fix that. So just follow along with me. There's a lot of things that I'm gonna do, a lot of changes I'm gonna make. Nothing is final. So until the final moment that I am finalized with the design, so nothing is fixed. So once again, you can see I'm using guidelines here again, just to help me with my design. And for me now, I have to determine the leading. I With designs like these, I normally tend to adjust the leading manually because each word is different. Each word is a different text box, and so I need to determine individually what the leading is going to be like. Now, I'm going to show you a nifty trick for copy pasting text without having to go through the whole Control J hassle. All you need to do is hold Alt on your keyboard, click the left mouse button, and drag the text. That immediately creates a duplicate like this. That's the nifty trick I use pretty much whenever I have to copy type. That's good. I'm gonna do some editing and you're gonna see. And so this is gonna be the that's good enough. So this is the preliminary composition of my design. This is not final and this is just a starting point. So now that I've set all my type I can go forward with editing it and getting it to look the way I want it to. So for me, with a lot of these designs that include text and like dynamic backgrounds, blocking is key. How you decide to block your type is critical in situations like this. So I'm gonna get to it. One of the a thing that has really helped me with this is layer masks. So layer masks basically help you cover up certain parts of a character type picture, so pretty much anything you can add a layer mask to anything and cover it up either entirely or certain sections of it without destroying the original layer. So I'm not going to make any destructive changes to the type. The type is going to be as it is, and anytime I want, I can revert the changes back to how it was before. So use layer masks, everyone. Like, use layer masks. Layer masks are going to save you a lot of time in your designs, and even if you screw up, you can always go back and do it again. There's no You're not going to lose anything. Now what I'm going to do is, to help this like come into, I'm going to reduce the opacity to the bare minimum, and now I'm going to make a quick selection. So yes, like, there's two ways to do this. You could use the pen tool, or if you're just lazy like me, you could go ahead and use the quick selection tool, but then this is what happens. So you kind of have to go in anyway with the pen tool and clear things up, because or more often than not, the selections are very annoying and sort of temper inducing, especially when you don't get it right. So this is a combination I use to fine tune my selections, as you can see here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the picture that I have. I'm going to use it as a blocking tool for my type. The natural like contours that you can see here of the space, the sort of bombed out space, I'm going to use it as a blocking tool for my type. If you'll have any questions, okay. That depends entirely on what kind of image, Abhishek. Honestly, that depends. It depends upon like what you want to put attention on. That is also critical. It depends on what you want to draw focus to, because there's a big gaping hole, and what do you want to put there? Is it a hand? Is it like a foot? Is it someone's head? Is it just an eyeball? So it all depends. It's subjective. I don't think there's any clear cut way to define it. Okay, so okay, another nifty shortcut. If you're zoomed out like this, if you're making fine selections and you want to return to the default like orientation without having to do the minimize and maximize operation repeatedly, hit Control and 0. That's going to bring you back instantly to your default orientation, like this. Now I'm going to proceed with the masking. So what you're going to do with the layer mask is You're going to click the brush tool. If the layer mask is white like this, you'll have two options here, black and white. Black hides the character, black black hides whatever's there, white reveals. I hope that makes it clear. See, like this, black hides, white reveals. You use black to hide, you use white to reveal. Now, the reason I made a selection and then decided to paint inside is because it helps me make sure that when I'm trying to paint out something, the selection is perfect or as much as it can be. I got the image from Unsplash. Unsplash is a wonderful website to find free stock images that you can use in your designs. And there's a lot of like talented artists on the platform, and you'll really find a lot of cool stuff. So you don't need to worry about, you know, royalties and using copyrighted work. I missed out a little here. So I'm just gonna go in and paint that out as well. So yeah, that's it. So now you can see how it looks. Looks like it's being masked out, right? All right, so I'm going to go to the next. If you'll have any questions, just keep typing away. I'm going to take a look at them and answer. I hope you all are doing good. And I hope that everyone can follow along and that it's not getting a little too out of like, you know, bounds or anything in terms of understanding what I'm doing. Because I think that, you know, stuff like this is all, it's pretty simple. You can do it anytime and it's pretty simple. So another straight line up. So that is not perfect, but if you were like, so this is kind of like what it is right now, but if you were and you needed to make a straight line, all you need to do is hold shift and then press on the next point. So that is what is gonna make a straight line. Hopefully I can show it here. Yeah, like that. So that you'll be able to do that by a layer mask, Raul. Just so when you're using the layer mask, reduce the opacity and reduce the flow according to. I'll show you. I'll show you. Hang on. Oh shit! I did. My bad. Let me just complete this selection. God, this is so annoying. So yeah, this is like 99%. This is like 90% of what I do. Just selections, cutting shit out constantly. It's very slow and tedious. I currently use just a mouse. I would like to get a tablet so I could speed up things, but yeah, currently I'm just using a mouse. It's just long and slow and tedious. So I'm going to show you now how you can like selectively darken or lighten parts of an image. Reduce the opacity here, reduce the flow, and see what happens. Can you see that? Image is progressively just getting lighter. Now, suppose you didn't want this like you didn't want this much to show. Switch over and put in the white color for the brush and go back, and you can just reverse it easily. So that's all you have to do, Rahul. Just darken it, like lighten it like this with black, bring more of it back with white. So yeah, no problem, man. I'm here to help. All right. So now that we've got this out of the way, I think yeah, this type should be good. I'm not really gonna go in and do all this because I'm gonna lose my mind if I go in and edit out all that. So I'm just gonna cover it up. Here, this one, I want to bring that little structure that has the bell, that has the sorry, not the bell, the cross on top. I want to bring that into focus. So I want to push the type behind, and also I want to cut it off where it intersects with the structure. So that's what I'm going to do here. Once again, just drop the opacity and get going with the selections. So I hope that y'all are taking this chill, like Amok said. Sit back, relax, just put on some cool lo-fi stuff and watch me make stuff, I guess. Make art, if you can call it that. I'm not to overhear it. Oh, when I design, dude, I listen to a lot of stuff. I mean, it could be anything. Um, it could be like rap, your rock, everything in between. Fucking R&B music, like from the 70s and 80s, stuff from recent memory, slow jams, those old like some country songs. So it's everything, dude. Like I've seen Banksy's work, and I haven't really like looked. I haven't really looked in particular at anything and just been like, oh, like this is like cool. I know of his work. I've seen it. Oh, that's that's high praise, man. Thank you. Yeah, this is quite tricky. This part, I'm not really like going in and making all the selections accurate because I just don't feel like I have the time to or the patience. I mean, you would have to be like really, really, really patient if you were to go in and like do it meticulously. So I'm just gonna wing it as one does. Yeah. All right. Chat. Like, let me know what you're listening to. Put stuff in. I'm definitely looking for new stuff constantly. Music. Oh, nice. Everyone, like, let me know what you all are listening to. Because I don't know. I hope. Oh, nice, nice. Nothing like a little EDM to just chill you out. Oh, that's interesting. Never heard before. Hey, go to put on some weekend, man. Just chill out. Chill out and listen to some old weekend trilogy times, Kessland stuff. Yeah, Dawn FM is it right now. Uh, what exactly, Abhishek, in terms of old rock? Is it like country, or is it like your 60s kind of stuff? What would it be? Which genre would it fall in? Because rock is like, or are you like, oh, classic. What are you listening to right now? Which particular song? So come on, chat. Let me know what you're listening to. Keep interacting with everyone. What are you listening to right now? What are you listening? Oh, nice, classic. I'm personally like more of a Kashmir guy. Uh, what else? Yeah, I can't remember any other songs. No Quarter. Yeah, No Quarter also. Yeah. So yeah, this is kind of how I imagine my design would look finally. And this is just a one step. I've just finalized the composition, and so this is kind of what I'm thinking I'll go forward with. So you can see that you don't necessarily need to show everything. Hiding things is an art, and it's like critical that you need to be like good with it. um I don't know, like, I don't know, like, I don't really know if I can play it. So yeah, like, I just have to figure that out. So yeah, maybe another stream. I'll just try to figure things out, especially in terms of the audio. If I could play something over, and if it would interfere, so I'll just figure that out. Okay, so now that the design is done, the next stage is to texture it. Texturing is like critical in terms of giving a design just that extra punch. And so I'm going to show you how I proceed with it. Talking leaves you thirsty, like really thirsty. All right. So, so in terms of like textures, something that I do use a lot is a halftone. Now, oh shit. Yep, dry mouth. Definitely dry mouth. Is it good now? Yeah, yeah. Daniel told me that the screen was stuck, so I just took a look at it. Now, okay, so uh, in terms of like halftone, halftone is the sort of like texture that um in old print, you would see it in a lot of like old print. So that is pretty much like how they would print images. It would be like different layers of colors, and those colors would be printed by I think spray. Like I'm not really sure uh like what halftone is exactly, but it is like this like wonderful texture. And so Texture Labs is a wonderful website where you get a lot of free textures, a lot of really like really cool. Hang on, like a Texture Labs is a website where you get these like really awesome and really cool so yeah, so pretty much what was this is today's post, if any of you know. uh so what I was talking about, Texture Labs is a wonderful website where you get a lot of cool and free, and most importantly, free textures. There's like tons of free textures that you can add to your designs that will instantly like up the quality of it. Like it's instant difference, noticeable difference. And one of the like tutorials is a retro halftone effect tutorial. um, it's the resources are free and it's available on YouTube. So when y'all do get the time, do take a look at it. Go online and just see how you go about achieving it, and use it. I really like it, so I use it in a lot of my work. Immediately it gives your design this extra effect of just depth. And so that is what I'm going to use here. That is what I'm going to use here. I'm going to take the halftone effect that I already have from an older design. Yep, exactly. Comic book vibe. That is exactly it. Comic books used halftone a lot because they would use it in terms of like depth for flat objects, in terms of people, in to show shadow, to show depth of features. That is what they would use halftone for. And so I'm going to copy this layer and I'm going to place it on top of everything that I have here. So immediately you're going to see the difference. This is what I was telling you all about. Instantly, it makes your design all the more better. Now, it's not perfect. I do have to adjust it. And this is where blending modes come in. Blending modes are critical to a design, and it will make or break your design. It can also help you find that perfect place. And there's like multiple blending modes. I normally use it for textures and overlays are where you're going to use blending modes the most. So you can see here, not exactly a noticeable difference. See, so now there's a difference, and each blending mode does something different. There's like a lot of like theory in terms of like you can see these, right? Darken, multiply, color burn. What these do is they bring out the darker values while they suppress the lighter values. That's what's happening here. The darker values are coming out, whereas these bring out the lighter values and they completely, like almost completely suppress the darker values. Now when you come here, you sort of reach this like middle ground, and this is after this it's all which one, Daniel? Was it this one? This is like today's post. This is basically today's Instagram post. So I just took the effect from there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to reduce the opacity a bit because it's a little too hard hitting. And I'm going to reduce the fill so that it's just noticeable. What I want to do now, I don't really want it to have color. I want the final design to be more duotone. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my layer effects panel, which you can see here, and I'm going to apply a gradient overlay. So this is what happens. So what I'm going to do is I do have some gradients that I've saved and that I want to try out. Would this work? Oh, okay, okay, okay. Interesting. So what I'm looking for right now is something that's monotone, basically just a hue, kind of like this. This is what I'm looking for right now. This sort of hue. This is kind of like what I wanted to do in terms of the gradient. And this is like another thing. You can just layer effects on top of each other, and those in turn will affect how your design looks, and it's just going to add. So there's multiple ways about going with this. I could have added a gradient map on top also, that would have achieved the same result, but I thought like it can apply directly to the halftone, so that's how I decided to go with it. Let's just see. um, okay, okay, so this is cool, right? Really like. All right, chat. Let's see how many of you are good with color theory. Give me a idea for a color that might go well with a sort of bluish purple. Give me an idea. I'm thinking yellow, but type out what you feel will be the best. Until then, I'll just take a look at the different blending modes for the halftone and see which looks good. Come on, chat. Come on. I need to see more replies. What's everybody thinking about red? Red will be too gaudy, right? There is a possibility. Okay. Yeah. I'll try both. How about that? I'm gonna try both. So for the yellow, I'm thinking more of a, yeah, sort of this shade. Would it look good? Looks faded out. Give me a second. I'm gonna bring it on top. Purple on purple might look a little too monotone, Vivan. You do want to bring contrast into the image. That is like what we are trying to go for here, right? Contrast. And so single color might not, I mean, it can work. It can work. That is definitely not to say it cannot work. But I just want there to be a contrast in terms of what I'm doing. I will definitely try a shade of purple. Hang on. Rati, hang on. I'm not done yet. Yeah. Orange and green would also work. Orange and green would also work. How's everybody feeling this? Little off, right? Like something's just not right. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make copies of this and I'm just gonna keep it aside later. Okay, so this is gonna be red, faded red. Maybe this shade. Yeah, yeah, I like this. No, like I don't like that because there's already a lot going on, and I don't really want to add more in terms of like a fade, and I want to keep it like simple as possible. I want to keep it as simple as I can because that's what I see a lot. Overcomplicating things has its own detriments and its own set of like problems. So for me, that is like a thing. Like I don't really want to overcomplicate things because if something's good, I don't necessarily want to mess with it. So yeah, that's my thing, Abhishek. Sorry. All right, chat. How are you feeling this? Is this color good? Yeah, it's more pink than red, definitely. But what do you all think? Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, I mean we can try. I'm gonna go with purple next. I'm gonna try purple. This shade good, or maybe something a little darker. So somewhere over here. Yep, definitely going for the lowest ammetal colors. Uh, Hang on, my bad, my bad, my bad. Wait, this kind of look cool. How's this looking? What do you all think? You have a lot to say, everyone. Oh man, awesome. So, fucking. Uh, Not a lot. I mean, I'll show you what I do, okay? In terms of like texturing, in terms of giving them texture, I'll show you what I do with them. I don't necessarily add textures, I do something else. So, how's this looking, people? This good? Yeah. I'll make versions of all of these. So, I'm just like making copies right now. I'm gonna do one last color. Uh, no, translucent black. I'm not sure because shadows are black, and translucent black won't necessarily pop. So I'm gonna do one last color. No, dude. Like that's gonna be hard to achieve. That's gonna be hard, and it might not look good. I don't think it might necessarily look good. Also, I'm kind of like I'm not so sure about it. So I'm gonna do one more color now. Lime green or orange? Which one do you all want to see? Lime green or orange? Just quickly type out in the chat. All right, lime green it is. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Jokery enough? Is this jokery enough? Oh yeah, this is looking good. Definitely. How about this? This good? Yep, it could be. It definitely could be. All right, so that's it. That's four different variations. Just gonna go through them one by one. Lime green. You've got your purple. You got your more pink than red. And at last, you've got your yellow. For now, I'm gonna go with the lime green. Uh, so the next thing that I'm gonna do here is apply the final textures. Now, textures, you're going to find a lot of stuff online, and it all depends upon your personal choice. Like I honestly like this is like my texture folder, and like this is the amount of stuff that I have. Some stuff I've never used, but I've just collected and kept. Still haven't like cataloged a lot of it. You can see like there's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot in terms of like paper. Just there's a lot of things. So one of the things that I want to do is okay, it's not here. Just give me a second. So this is something I've been messing around with recently. I've been using this these offset textures to imitate a sort of like photocopy look. All right. So once again, you can. I'm applying it on top of all the layers. So I'm applying it at the top. I'm changing the blending mode, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna lighten it a bit using the method that I told you before. I'm gonna go with the brush and just lighten things out because it does look a lot. It looks very thick right now. See? So I'm just gonna paint over it, sort of lighten it out. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's good. Not really gonna apply more because this one already looks textured enough as it is. So this is what I keep telling. Textures are critical. Yeah. Hope this is a little better. Yeah. So this is what I keep telling. Like textures are everything. Textures are what what's gonna sell the design, and this is like something that I use all the time. This kind of texture, just to give the design a feel of grit, of dirt. There's like this sort of grime without grime actually ever being there. So that's what I'm doing here. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add paper. In particular, this sort of like cream paper. I'm gonna show you in a second why I add it. Oh, I forgot to mention, if you want to resize an object or a layer in a file while you're working without affecting the ratio or the scale of the image or whatever, if you want to resize it evenly without the dimensions being distorted, what you need to do is hold Shift and Alt, click on the corner, and then pull outwards like this, how I'm about to show you. Shift, Alt, and then just pull outwards. So that ensures that the dimensions are proportional and that there's no distortion. And this is why I added the texture on top. Can you see? So there's more going on right here. So right now I have like three colors to play with, and they're all interacting with each other. So this is another reason why I add textures. There's an added color there with certain textures that you can fiddle with, you can take a look at. And so now I'm just going to take a look through it and I'm going to decide what is good. Now this is a little too dark, too dark, too dark, a little too bright. So yeah, it's this. These are not it, not it, not it, not it, not it, not it, not it. So you can see like each blending mode gives you a different effect. For now, I'm just going to go with the dark or the darker color. It's either one. So type in the chat which one you all think looks good. Yeah, yellow bleeds into the layers below. So that's the thing. I'm going to show you the difference. This is without, this is with. Can you all see the difference? Immediately there's this aged feel to it. Yeah. So that is like something that's critical. Okay. Now for one final thing, the design's pretty much done according to me. I don't think like I'm gonna edit it any further. What I want to show now is displacement maps. Displacement maps are a nifty little Photoshop trick that most people normally use when they need to place designs on top of t-shirts, hoodies, or when they want to place something on an object. Displacement map basically maps out your particular design according to the contours of the object in terms of light values, and it adjusts the design accordingly. First thing you need to do is convert your type into a smart object. What I've done is I've made a copy and I've converted that to a smart object so that I have the original type layers and I have this smart object layer 2 to fiddle around and do my modifications. So if you want to d- use a displacement map, you're going to go to this filter menu, go down to distort, and you're going to use the displace option. Now, don't change any of these, leave these as these are, and you're going to select. How displacement map works is you're going to need a texture that's saved as a PSD. That PSD is basically the basis on which the displacement is going to happen. So you're going to need to have a couple of like displacement maps that you've saved before, and you're going to need it in terms of like files, like these PSD files. That's how you're going to use it. I'm just going to click this one. Let's see how. Yeah, can you all see? There's like a slight distortion, very minimal. I'm just going to up it a bit so that you all can see how it works. Yeah, can you see this? This sort of like fraying of the edges. It imitates print, how print would look if you um, try to replicate it on laptop, on Photoshop. So that is kind of what it does. I'm just gonna adjust this because the entire type gets displaced every time you use the displacement map operation. So yeah, yeah, I think this is it. This is the final design. I am happy with it. Maybe I could just reduce the opacity here a bit. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, this is the final design. Uh, please let me know what you think and give me your thoughts on it. Thank you, Rati. I hope that whatever I've talked about has helped you, and that you'll be using this whatever I've talked about, textures. Uh, if you're worried about not finding good ones, there's a lot of websites that you will find good textures online. Texture Labs is one. There's a lot of stuff. um, I think you'll find a lot for free. There's like the moment you type free paper texture download or something like that, you're immediately gonna find stuff. There's like a huge list of things. And so yeah, this is the final file. I'm just gonna save it. One more thing. Anyone who's working, please save your file immediately. As soon as you, dude, it's trial and error. It's trial and error. I think you just need to understand like how you can use textures, like this offset texture here. That's to add depth to your black and white values. This vintage paper texture is to give the entire image this sort of old timey feel, you know, this sort of vintage look. So it's all about like understanding how you can use certain textures for your designs. And after that, it's personal choice. Any other questions? Thanks, Daniel. Thanks. I mean, like, yeah. So this, I think I today I've been spending time talking about it, so it's taken me a little longer than expected. But normally, I think a design like this, I would normally expect to put out within 40 minutes or an hour. So yeah, stuff like this is a lot of work. With regards to like text layer, like I don't know. Like I think that once again it's personal choice, and like dependent on you how you decide to choose the right texture, in my opinion. Anyone has any questions? Instagram, dude. Instagram. I'm probably gonna post in a week or two. So look out for it. Yeah. I'm gonna be posting it on Instagram. This all of this goes on Instagram. Yeah, definitely. Y'all will definitely. I'll definitely mention where I made it and follow me. Like, I'll definitely tag you guys if you respond. Abhishek, definitely. Oh yeah, Rahul, you did want to check out a page, right? Hang on, I'm gonna go all the way up. Yeah, it was one. I'm just gonna check that out. So, what were you asking me to check out? Could you just like tell me? Cause I like the designs. I like the style. Yeah, I like the style too. Like I've been trying to make more stuff like this. Yeah, this is cool. Definitely cool. It's very trendy. Like I see a lot of like the trendy stuff right now in terms of like this particular one with the type they've chosen, little design choices here and there, color choices, and this one also very DIY, and this bringing the whole retro lo-fi thing back. Yeah, I like this. It's cool. Anyone else got any questions? Oh, thanks, man. Thanks a lot. It's not a class. I think think we all learn. I think we all learn. So yeah, I think I'll be doing more of these in the future. So definitely come by and do follow my Instagram. I've challenged myself to make stuff and post stuff every day. So so definitely do follow it and check my stuff out. Hey, pleasure is all mine. Pleasure is all mine. I just hope that I could talk to you guys because it's pretty much. I hope that you've been enjoying this. Oh, thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. I hope you've been enjoying this and that this has been good. It's a lot of effort, Abhishek. A lot of effort. Took me a while to find out my style. It's just practice. I mean, everyone does in the end. Everyone does find a style that's like unique to them. Yeah, it is. It's like there's definite steps, and you can definitely see like how each single thing contributes. Yeah, BTS access is definitely how I would classify it. You're like getting a peek behind the curtain. All right. It's been really fun. This has definitely been nice. Uh, y'all have been amazing. Like, I love that, the entire time y'all were interacting with me, with each other. So, thanks a lot for that. And I hope to be doing more in the future. And you've been a wonderful crowd. I will. I look forward to actually doing more designs, and I hope I'll see you all there. Thanks, man. Thanks a lot. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Thanks, man. Thanks, everyone. And if you all like use some of the stuff I've talked about, and if you all are going to make designs, tag me in them, like, or just send it to me. I'll definitely let you all know what I think. And all right. Uh, I hope that this has been fruitful and you've all learned I hope that this has been a good session. I'll end the call on this. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for giving me, yeah, an hour and a half of your weekend. Hope you all spend the rest of the weekend in an awesome way. And cheers. All right. If there's nothing else, um, you all have my Instagram handle. Yeah, cheers, Rahul. Cheers. You all have my Instagram handle and do follow me on there. Yeah, so that's it. That's it. I hope you all to see you in the next live session. You all take care. You too, Amog. You too.